All right, everyone. Welcome to another edition. Yet another edition. We are 1 year strong, Tank. 1 year strong. 1 year strong. 1 year strong.
I hear the applause.
Yeah. Now, as I was saying, welcome to another edition of No Jazz Show. That stands for not just another sports show. I am your host. Hold on. I am your host, KD. And to my right, I have Tank. Tell the people hello, Tank.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all feeling this evening?
They feeling good this evening, Tank. I know they feeling good. We are about to bring you all this edition and basically tell you all about this weekend that was the first NFL weekend. But before we begin, I want to welcome everyone YouTube Live. I want to welcome everyone Facebook Live. You can follow us on YouTube at NOJASSSHOW. No Jazz SSS. That's a lot of S's. S stands for shit so simple, but I'm making it hard. No, seriously though. On our YouTube channel, please go and subscribe. No JSS. That's a lot of S's. Oh, you listen to you on Facebook?
Just hit something.
But I'm making it hard.
No, I was checking the TikTok. We good.
Okay. You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you need to do is like turn the reverb down, producer.
How's that?
Anybody want? That's my man Tank. He playing producer over there on his side on the TikTok side. What's up? But at any rate, on TikTok, everyone following. Thank you for following us. Thank you for everyone that's joining on TikTok at No Jazz Show on TikTok. Thank you for all of your support on that TikTok platform. On Instagram, it is the No Jazz Show. TheNoJassSSSHOW. And our Facebook page, Facebook Live. DUPONTKZ. No. DUPONTNIVEK. Z. But I got so many names on you now. But on our page, No Jazz Show, you find us live right there. We are also on X, No Jazz Show. And I think that's everything. Shout out to our sponsors. When we go live, you don't see our sponsors until later. But our sponsor definitely is those Magic City Wings. Make sure you order those Magic City Wings and remember their motto. Don't forget to lick the sauce. There's also Quick Visits. And you find them at quickvisits.com for all of your loungewear and lingerie needs that you may have for you and your partner's desires and nighttime desires. Make sure you ladies go out and order those. Men, make sure you go out and order those for your ladies. As well as Light Snack. And I don't, and you know what? Technically, you can get a light snack in that lingerie.
Why are you taking the sauce?
And lick her sauce. You know what I'm saying? That's called cross marketing. What I just did. That's like Pizza Hut and Subway at the same time. Let me let you know. But at any rate, we also have Light Snack where you can have all of your ordering needs, just all of your delivery needs for all of your lunch, breakfast, dinner. Make sure you order from Light Snack. Now, having said all that, and you've already seen him before to my right, my partner, my ace. If I was a running back, he'd be my fullback. If I was a quarterback, he'd be my X.
You know he loves the X.
Throwing it in there. Tank, tell the people what's up, Tank.
What's up, people? What's up? Let's get this thing going.
We're going to get it going. I'm going to let Tank run the show a little bit tonight because I'm going to tell you something, man. I haven't eaten today, and I'm on my I'll be lying about it. But it's after 12. No. After 12, I say I had to eat today, but I'm on my fruit game. I'm on my fruit game, and I'm about to tear these strawberries up. Have me a little light snack, and we're gonna get this ball rolling and get it underway. I'm gonna get my notes together, but I can begin and just go freestyle.
Yeah.
With the game that we just had tonight. I'm gonna say this coming to America. The Vikings of Minnesota came back and defeated the Bears of Chicago in a very exhilarating game.
A most thrilling victory indeed.
Indeed. Now Tank got to be like, son, I'm only gonna tell you this one time.
Stay off them drugs.
But the NFL did show. The NFL did indeed show that it is the most exciting drama in TV. And we don't even want to tell you, well, we don't have to tell you because you probably listened to it and heard about it all day. The drama that was in Buffalo in the rematch between the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to go over here, and Tank, you can choose whichever one of those games you want to talk about because they were just so exciting.
They were.
I'll float right into the rest of the weekend. But go ahead, Tank.
We can start with tonight's game. I picked the Vikings, and just because of the Bears' history over the past decade. But right. I wasn't sold on JJ McCarthy being drafted in the first round last year. Then with him missing his rookie season, this in essence is his rookie season. So I wasn't counting on him to come through, but I was counting on the defense and the playmakers around him to come through. And he just keep the car on the road. I wasn't expecting him to have to drive it. And it was starting off like he was going to crash it. I don't know. The Bears, the Bears are probably, huh?
No, keep going.
Yeah, the Bears are probably still sitting in their locker room saying, what happened?
They're probably in the same locker room as Baltimore.
Yep. They scored 3 points after the initial scoring in the first quarter. Talking about the Bears, and after that, it was nothing. I was thinking, okay, Caleb is looking pretty good. He's looking like he's grown, like he's matured, like Ben Johnson has got him going, and all of a sudden, second half, the wheels fall off. I'm still not sold on McCarthy, but what I will say is this: I think what he is and what he's going to show is he's a gamer. I think he's going to be capable of looking bad for 2, 3, perhaps even going into 4 quarters, and then somehow get things going. And those guys around him are going to start believing. I'm not saying not that he's going to be as bad as this guy was, but I'm thinking that he's going to have a little Tebow magic in him. Tebow had a tendency to look bad for 3 quarters, but the game would be close enough in that one season, and they pull it out in the end. I think McCarthy is going to have some of that kind of magic. I think he's going to be like that? I think he's going to have some of that because I think tonight's game, his entire team looks at him differently now. I think tonight in his first game ever in a regular season game ever, on the road against a divisional rival, he stepped up when they needed him to step up. He didn't make a whole bunch of crucial mistakes. He just looked bad for quite some time. And a lot of that, him looking bad, was the Bears defense getting on him. So I'm not gonna just say, oh, he looked bad, that he need to get better. No, the Bears defense had a lot to do with that.
Put a pin in that conversation. But keep going.
Yeah, but he figured it out. He started making some things happen. I thought that he was going to be using Jefferson a lot more, which is what you should do when you have arguably the best, or at worst, the second best receiver in the league. You got to give him chances at 50-50 balls. You got to get him involved. You got to get the running game going. Second half, they started doing a little more. But the coaching was good. I think I don't think that anybody knew what they had in McCarthy until the second half of that game. I think that's when they started believing him. I think that's when his coach started saying, okay, I think I can trust this guy, because he started letting it hang out a little more, because I was thinking that we were looking at another game that was going to be like last night, another barn burner. And it did turn out to be one. And part of me was kind of hoping it might go into overtime, because I just wanted to see.
Shout out to Passport Boys. They say J.J. McCarthy is 22 years old, won a national championship at 20. That's an astounding feat. Passport Boys following us on TikTok. Shout out to you.
What's up, Passport Boys?
PP.
Yeah, I think he's going to do a good job of developing.
Okay, so before keep going, because you're saying some good words that I want to use as we segue into.
Yeah, and Caleb, and looking at Caleb in the first half, he looked like he learned from last year. And Ben Johnson looks like he was getting him to do, but some of these things, Caleb still has to learn that you are not an elite athlete, as far as, hey, you can do all these other special things. Caleb is a good athlete, but he has to learn to play within his limits. Some of those things that Johnson was able to do with golf last year, he's got to remember he could do that with golf, because golf was an experienced veteran, and they had a lot more weapons. Chicago doesn't quite have those weapons yet, or they haven't developed yet. I think he's going to have to piecemeal things together for Caleb, because Caleb started pressing. There were some mistakes that he made that if you were a veteran, had more than 2 years, starting his second year, he had more time in the league, he would have done some things differently. But the Bears defense until the second half, I was impressed.
He got Jaden Daniels time, so he shouldn't be. But we're gonna get to that. Keep going.
Yeah. So, but overall, I thought it was a good game. It was entertaining, and it got to be the second half is where everything came together. The first half, we were looking at a potential blowout if the Bears had been able to really get some points going, and I thought that's what they were going to do. But for whatever reason, they weren't able to get it done. I think they need to learn how to utilize those weapons that they have, because they do have some weapons. They've got to get everyone involved, and Ben Johnson has to realize, I can't do the exact same thing with these guys that I did in Detroit. I've got to come up with some of these plays that specifically fit and work for these guys' skill sets, because they aren't the same. He doesn't have a mirror image of what he had in Detroit.
Absolutely. So now, hold on. I got some background noise. Is that you?
Might be.
I'm hearing me and you.
No, it's not me.
Hello? Okay, I might be hearing me and me. Nevertheless, move on to the first of the evening, of the weekend, night game, Baltimore up 15. Buffalo Bills fans begin to leave. And then suddenly, Frank Reich.
Yep. I remember that well.
Frank Reich appears in Frank Reich sighting appears and he's wearing number 17 and they come back. Lamar Jackson is being Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry is getting tweets and comments, not tweets, but posts from Tank saying he's just going to run all over the league. Matter of fact, as soon as Tank said that, I'm gonna give Tank 12 minutes. I'm gonna give Tank 12 minutes real time. As soon as I read it, 12 minutes later, to close the game out, Derrick Henry fumble. Open it up. The opportunity for the Bills to make probably one of the greatest opening day. I ain't gonna say game. I'm gonna say game.
Yeah.
Definitely opening day comebacks ever. What do you think about that game, Tank?
Again, fourth quarter is when it really came around because Baltimore was dog walking. And I like the fact that how they were using, because the thing about Lamar, Henry and Lamar is like two created players in Madden. It's like cheating. You don't want to play them because you don't want to play them in Madden because, man, why you got to use them? Why you using your created roster? Before you
keep going, remember the play where Lamar lost all the yards and then he ran back for like a net of 9, but it was like 16, 19 yards worth of scrimmage that he ran. And then the next play, what a beautiful play call. I'm gonna just give it to Derrick Henry because the defense is gassed and you just took the life out of him. That is so unfair. But keep going.
Yeah. When those two are on, it really is unfair. And I've said this before, and some people didn't get it, but Derrick Henry, I said there was a guy in the group who said he wouldn't have signed Derrick Henry to an extension after last year because I said Derrick Henry is different. His age, the size, his skill set, and the lack of wear and tear on him. He's got high mileage, but he has highway miles. He doesn't have.
He ain't got a lot of city miles.
Yeah, he doesn't have city miles because if you look last night, those were gaping holes that he was running through. I'm looking and he's 5-7 yards downfield before there's any contact because that line is opening holes for him the way the Redskins did for Timmy Smith back in '87 in the Super Bowl. And then by the time Henry gets to his third step, he's at full speed, and you got a 180-pound DB who is thinking about, hey, I got to be in the league long enough to get my pension. I'm not finna tackle this man. Henry doesn't break tackles. He might run. He runs away from him, and he's this stiff arm, or we used to call it the pie face. He does that. You don't see Henry trucking too many people. You see him using that flipper to get people off of him. And that's why Henry, I believe he's got at least another 3 years in him performing very well because he doesn't have those city miles. He doesn't take a lot of licks. And when you get Lamar doing what he's doing, you just run them right around on the option.
Hold on. I had to do something right fast. I had to give a drum roll because we now have a new term in sports that we're about to implement. It's not Young Thug. That we're about to implement here on No Jazz. The great playmaker Michael Irvin. We're not going to. No longer is it first ballot Hall of Famer. No longer. No more. The new thing is, what gold jackets did you go through to get your gold jacket? Now, when Tank mentioned that Derrick Henry had highway miles rather than city miles, KD, I went and looked up who was in the AFC South, and since he's going to the AFC North, because whatever division you play in, that's who you see the most. And I went and looked up and conference. I looked up the people that Derrick Henry has seen that could have put those miles on him, per se. And I looked up to see who made All Pro, how many Pro Bowls, who did what. And I didn't think I was going to see a lot of people, some names, due to him being in the AFC South. But I did see some ladder Dwight Freeney, I think. I definitely saw some J.J. Watt. I saw some Chris Jones. J.J. Watt being in his division. Chris Jones being in his conference. So when his time comes, he may not have as many as the playmaker has, but he has about 4. Right now, he has about 4 guys that are probably going to be wearing gold jackets that he's going to be able to say, I went through these guys to get my gold jacket. And but that's the new thing. What gold jacket? Not first ballot doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
What gold jackets did you go through to get your gold jackets? That's my new thing. Take it away, Tank. I just want to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's sealed his fate as far as getting in the cannon. He's going whenever he hangs it up. And Lamar, when he's operating the way he did last night, it's tough to beat. And then now they've got Zay Flowers. Zay is stepped up. First Pro Bowl wide receiver that the Ravens have had in their existence. And he's only getting better. My only thing with them for this set of triplets is they won't play together long, or as long as some others have, because of the advanced age at which they got Henry. And Lamar has been there. He's in his 8th year already. And Flowers is just in his 3rd, maybe. I think 2nd or 3rd. So they won't have as long a run together. But I do think.
Would you consider them triplets without a championship?
Yes, because they're the core. There's a core 3 for that.
Okay.
Offense. Yeah.
How about we do that? How about we do that? We're gonna call them a core 3.
Mm-hmm.
Cause see, triplets. Come on now.
Yeah, if you want to go triplets, get rings. Yeah, but they are their core. They are their core 3.
Thank you, Tank. We can't just like we can't, and we're gonna get to that too. Just like we can't call everybody a generational quarterback, we can't call everybody triplets.
Yeah. If they do seal the deal and get there,
they move from
you call them triplets.
And we'll graduate into triplets. Because see, here's what I'm saying. And follow me, chat. Follow me, chat, if you agree. And this is not me disagreeing with Tank. A lot of sports start moving names in this new generation to people who don't deserve it. Yeah. And what I mean by triplets is Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris, John Stallworth, that's a triplet. Of course, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, that's a triplet. What's my man name? Marshall Faulk.
Craig, yeah.
Isaac Bruce, and
Warner.
Kurt Warner. Triplet. That's a triplet. And notice how I'm saying triplet, because 2/3 of the core 3 are pretty much in the Hall of Fame. Zay Flowers, you still got to get there.
Yeah.
But that championship in there. Who are you about to say?
I was gonna say, as far as your triplets, you got Craig, Montana, and Rice.
That's a triplet.
Yeah.
That's a triplet.
So when we talk about triplets, you can also just remember triplets, TR, trophy, TR. If you don't have no trophy, you ain't no triplet.
If you don't have a trophy, you're not a triplet. Yes, No Jazz Show is championship culture. Yes, we are. Blue blood, baby. That's a Steeler, and I'm a Cowboy. It's just what it is. But go ahead, Tank.
Yeah. But looking at the way the Ravens were playing defense, looking at the way the offense was clicking, we always like to say, hey, well, one play didn't lose the game. You always say, but that's team speak. No, there are times when one play does lose a game. That fumble helped them lose that game. They still were in it and had the opportunity, but that fumble breathed new life into Buffalo. And Josh Allen showed you why he was the MVP last year.
You can't mess up like that with people like Josh Allen.
Yeah. And then Keon Coleman stepped up and became what they wanted him to be last year, and became what they were questioning if he was going to be that during training camp, because he couldn't get open. He couldn't separate. His hands weren't too steady. But last night he stepped up, and because of what he did last night, now this is what is going to be not hoped for from him. It's not a expectation, it's a requirement. A lot of times people say, well, we're hoping that so-and-so can do this, that, and other. No, if you're drafted, particularly in the first round, and you're a professional athlete, they aren't expecting you to do anything. They aren't expecting you to be good or to be great. It's a requirement. We wouldn't have you here. We wouldn't have done these things if we didn't think that you were good, if we weren't requiring that you be great. You don't
check out our segment a few weeks back on what we consider a bust. It's your expectation and requirement, and what your peers did who were drafted in the first round around you. What did they do in relation to what you did? And you'll understand why Tank said what he said. But go ahead, Tank.
Yeah, and the play calling was getting better for Buffalo. Josh Allen decided, let me put this cape on, because they don't want to win this game, but since they're giving us the ball back, let me put this cape on and show them why I'm the MVP. And he went out and he did that, over 250 yards passing in the fourth quarter. That's Madden stuff when you're playing a computer on rookie. And you got a stacked team.
Shout out to my girl Stephanie, who I gave a lot of flack earlier that day. She had on her Buffalo Bills Josh Allen jersey and said he was going to do his thing. And she ended up being correct. Shout out to Stephanie from Rochester, New York. I see you, girl. I love your life.
Good job, Stephanie. The thing about it is that game, and it's only the first game, it's only one game. But thus far, I know people like to say, well, it's just one game or whatever. It's just the first game. But it's the only game. As of now, it's the only game. And this game could turn around and be the difference in you having a home field playoff game
and having to go back
on the road. Yeah.
Right. Having to go back to Buffalo when it's cold. You got to win when it's warm. You got exactly. Same thing I was saying about a lot of these week one games. We can go back to the way CD dropped all those balls, and we discussed that. I don't want to linger on that, but the issue was you lost the division game. Tampa Bay, Atlanta, you let one get away from you in Atlanta. You lost the division game.
Now they're in position to get swept.
You lost the division game. You lost the division game. Jared Goff, you were running a 4.8 40 at the age of 22. Now you the age of 30, and you trying to actually get away from Michael Parsons? Are you serious? I really thought that was a setup sack. I thought that was a setup sack to get Michael Parsons a sack. You know, and how we all hyped that he got a sack. What to do? You know, leading into Green Bay playing Minnesota Thursday?
Yep. Thursday. They got a short turnaround. So Minnesota has to put this game behind them now.
They got to put the win behind them now, and then go play another division game
in 3 days.
With Green Bay having some rest. So strategically, how are they going to do this, man? The NFL scheduling, boy. But they had to get that ball on TV quick because nobody watching Green Bay.
Yeah, and what I was surprised with Green Bay, I thought Green Bay was a decent team and they were still on the uptick. But they showed me something defensively and offensively. Jordan Love, as long as he can stay consistent, he's gonna make some noise in that division. That division is not just there for the taking for whomever. You got to win that division.
You got to win that division.
You have to win it. Detroit, you on the clock. You have to win this division. Green Bay, you got to win this.
Cam Ward, 6 sacks. I'll tell you something, buddy. I am not one of those. I love you, boy. I love you. I love your game. I think you're going to be fine. But the truth of the matter is, certain people who don't know this game and don't know football love blaming offensive linemen for time that they don't produce. You got to get rid of that ball. You got sacked 6 times. 3 of them on you. Can't be holding that ball that long in this league. Like there's some magic, and I believe you got it. But guess what? That 5.5 seconds of magic you can do in the ACC in college,
not gonna work. Not gonna work
with these grown men out here. It is not going to work with these grown men. So you got to get rid of the ball, man. I want you to have a long career. And then on top of that, Calvin and the Tennessee receivers, catch the ball. Catch the ball.
Yeah. You got to help your rookie quarterback out.
You got to help your rookie quarterback. Man.
You got to step up and make. Sometimes you're gonna have to make some spectacular catches, and you're gonna have to do it. You have to make them routinely because the game's going fast for this young man right now. And I'm not one of those who I'm old school. I still believe that a rookie quarterback, if you do start him, if he stinks, he just stinks, and you let him learn. I'm not one of those where if he's a rookie, he needs to be in there. He needs to be playing great because the majority of the time, it's not going to happen. And the majority of the time, especially if you're a top 5 pick, particularly if you're the number 1 overall pick, that team was picking first for a reason. So it's going to take more than him.
That team was picking first for a reason. Now, the truth of the matter is, the NFL. Let's just segue into this right now. Because I saw a lot of it this weekend, and there are a lot of people who, oh, you're crazy for saying this because you're gonna get the guys hurt in the preseason. You know what? They ain't get hurt in the offseason. I've seen it doing nothing. But a OTA playing against your boy, a controlled environment, those little internal practices, and then you play them that weekend, or you end up sitting your starters for that game, that is still not full speed, full rep. Everything we watched this weekend was the 4th preseason game, those 3 quarters where everybody has to play that 4th preseason game. We watched them get those reps this weekend. All of those balls going through your hands, hitting you in the face mask, all of those, you're a veteran and you're not aware that the only thing you got to do to close this game out is hold on to the ball. You know, a lot of that mismanagement. Raheem Morris, I'm paging you. Raheem Morris, you and your staff had Michael Penix Jr. out of rhythm. You had him out of rhythm. And that's why he couldn't get a rhythm going the other day. That's you and your staff. All of that is preseason. We're getting so fancy with these veterans and all these players, and I knew that was going to trickle down into what it's become. We've gotten so fancy about, oh, you need to let the starter sit for the preseason because you don't want to risk them getting injured. And now all of the people on the internet and all of the people are like, you're crazy for saying that, blah, 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 blah. No, this is why you saw games not really getting into it and teams not really functioning until the third and fourth quarter of the game.
You got to get into football shape physically and mentally. You've got to hit. I mean,
you got to hit, and you got to get hit on both ends. You got to go full speed. A lot of those drop balls were alligator arms. A lot of that was timing. A lot of that was you don't have that touch full speed like you do in practice. That you missed Pickens. Oh, hold on. You played a good game, but guess what? I'm not one of those ones that's going to let you off the hook, Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to let you off the hook. You missed two reads. You missed Smith and you missed Brown. And you probably missed more than what I thought you missed. But you won the game, so that covers it up. But those times you ran, you didn't go through all of your progressions, Playboy. You didn't. That's preseason.
You tucked it around.
You got to too early. AJ knows it.
Yeah, that's why you see the defenses are ahead of the offenses right now.
Exactly. And so no one's off the hook. But go ahead, Sang. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I will say this, particularly pass defense. I saw some good pass defense yesterday, and I saw the referees. I saw them blow some calls, but I also saw them not blow a whistle when there was real contact or when the receivers were getting hit. Particularly, I was glad Jalen Ramsey when he drilled
great hit.
Great hit. But I was afraid that they were going to blow a whistle because throw a flag because these days if you hit somebody and it looks hard, they throw a flag. Well, why did you throw the flag? Because
I definitely thought it was a flag on DJ Moore tonight, and that was clean.
Yeah, it was clean. So they all let these guys. Yeah, they all let these guys.
There was a hit on DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Well, he really wasn't coming across the middle, but it was kind of like the middle of the field, and then the cornerback shoulder dislodged the ball. Old school hit. That you might be I'm gonna put you on the list for twin. You might twin. I like that. I like what I saw. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I like the fact that they were letting these guys hit. But what I don't like, and I still don't like this as far as quarterbacks, because this was last night, I believe. I think it was last night's game. It happened a few times though. I think it was Lamar get hit. But when he got hit, the defenders, you see them going eagle spread, putting their arms out, saying, "Look, I'm not putting all my weight on them when we hit the ground. I'm trying to defy the laws of physics by not having all my weight on them as I go down." I wish they would get rid of that because you mess around and hurt yourself trying to keep from hitting somebody hard.
That momentum.
Yeah. I mean, like, let's say you've got Cam Hayward, who's almost 300 pounds, coming full speed, and all of a sudden he gets there, but he's supposed to pull up or he's not supposed to. He's going to he'll rip his damn knee up trying to stop all that.
Imagine Gilbert Brown pulling up.
Yeah. He ain't going he's not gonna pull a muscle because he ain't have none, but he's gonna rupture some fat and some ligaments. Some ligaments are gonna go snap.
Rupture some fat, boy. Y'all don't know, Gilbert, boy. 93, man. Gilbert Brown, Larry Allen trying to pull up. Well, you know, Larry Allen was on offense, but he could have. Larry Allen could have played.
Hurt some folks. Yeah, but I thought overall the games were good, particularly defensively. I thought that the defense is always ahead of the offense, really for the first 3 weeks of the season now, because like you said, these guys don't play in the offseason in the preseason. They're still getting their timing down. They're getting used to. They're trying to get used to getting hit again because remember they only have 14 padded practices in the season, and the coach has to divide that up throughout the whole season. That's the off-season and regular. They're not in pads hitting every day. They're mostly in shells. So,
which is possibly why Tennessee line wasn't blocking like that.
Yeah, they aren't banging. So
banging.
So their first real action is during the first game of the season. Oh, damn, he's hitting like that. Oh man. Oh, let me get ready. I ain't had to deal with that throughout training camp. So, hey,
right quick. Speaking of banging in action, I just want to, everybody that's joined us, please make sure you go to quickvisits.com and buy your lady some nice little lingerie. Buy your lady some lingerie, and lady, you buy some lingerie for your man because it's football season. It's a contact sport, and there need to be a lot of banging.
A lot of contact.
Going on.
Yeah.
And when you finish all of that, you might be a little hungry. Make sure you order your food from Light Snack. To get all of your delivery needs. So you don't even have to leave the house after all that banging. And make sure you order those Magic City wings. And remember, don't forget to lick the sauce. Lick the sauce. You might have you something for the fourth quarter.
Exactly.
Because there'd be a lot of banging going on in the fourth quarter. Now, back to where we were. Go ahead, Tank.
Speaking of fourth quarters and some banging going on, I enjoyed the fourth quarter of the Steelers-Jets game.
I bet you did.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey he had a few good hits, and when he drilled Fields, I was glad they didn't call it because the referee did see, wait a minute, he's got 2 steps. It was a bang bang play. It wasn't he released it and now it's been 2 seconds and now he's gonna get hit. I'm glad that nothing transpired from that. I like the fact that, and this comes from my perspective as a Steelers fan, I think Aaron Rodgers, he still has an aura about him, particularly to guys who haven't played with a quarterback who was that esteemed, because Ben's been gone 4 years. A lot of these guys weren't there with Ben. They had Russell Wilson for a few games last year, and we saw what happened with those 6 straight losses. So that wasn't doing anything for them. But now they've got an established future Hall of Famer 5 years after he retires, who can still throw. His ability to throw the ball and deliver has never been in doubt. What's been in doubt was, can he stay healthy? He's not as agile as he used to be. And is he going to check down as opposed to stretching the field? I think when they looked in the fourth quarter, they looked in his eyes. I think the whole game, they looked and they said, okay, we can win this game. This is Aaron Rodgers calling the play. And I admit I wasn't gung-ho on us signing him because he could hit the wall now. But I felt that but his aura and what he brings to the table is better than anything they've had since being left. And those guys believe, and they've seen him do it. They've seen him line up and have it turn out fine over and over again, watching other teams when he played with other teams. Remember, he threw for almost 4,000 yards last year and had 26 touchdowns. It's not as if he barely hit 3,000 and had 17 touchdowns last year. He drove them in the first quarter. That was the first scoring drive. They didn't score at all on the first drive last year. For 17 games, they never started off with a 3-zip or a 7-zip lead. They did that this year. They scored on their opening drive. Then you got Boswell, who he asked for a raise, and they give the damn man a raise. Give Boswell a raise. Give the Wizard of Boz a raise, because that man is basically automatic as long as you put him on the playing field. Because that kick he made yesterday to seal it, that would have been good from over 60. I think that as far as looking at Pittsburgh, the passing game is going to be fine. We need a running game. We have none. We had 50-something yards yesterday. We had no running game whatsoever.
You definitely didn't use your new guy.
Yeah, we just signed Warren and gave him $12 million, and he did buckets. Ricky did nothing, and this guy we picked up from the Eagles, I can't even remember his name now, because I'm like, wait a minute, why is he getting all these carries? He didn't do anything. But the passing game was working. They got to shore up some of those drops. They got to utilize Metcalf more. You paying him like you like to say, you paying him like an X, so you need to use him like an X. Defense needs to stop the run. Bottom line, you can't win. If you can't stop the run, you're not going to win too many games. Pass defense wasn't horrible. I think it's going to get better. Man, we got a lot of guys who were out injured yesterday also. Some got injured during the game. Other guys are injured coming into the game. Why are you injured and we haven't even started the season yet? So, but I think they're going to be fine. I really and truly, not just as a fan, but I think the Steelers are going to be fine because Tomlin is too solid of a coach to let them not be. And I think that they got a shot at I think they can finish second in the division. I think they're going to be better than Cincinnati. We know that they're going to be better than the Browns. The roadblock is going to be getting past Baltimore. But I'm fine with what they did for the opening game. They need to do better, though, because that kind of effort won't get it done.
For those of you who do not know, the last 8 minutes, you were experiencing. If it sounded like you were WTAE TV Pittsburgh playing, even though this is a sports show, that whole segment that sounded like we were actually in Pittsburgh doing a local Pittsburgh show. Tank is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so we gotta let him get out the whole assessment of Pittsburgh. We gotta let him do that. You know what I'm saying? We here at No Jazz, especially me. You know, he needed to vent. He needed to get it out. He needed to get it out. But what he really wanted, let me tell you what he's doing subliminally. Because you gotta know him to know what he's doing subliminally. You want to know. His partner over here on his left is on one. See, you want to get me to talk about what the Cowboys did. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let him bait me into his little, Pittsburgh did this. And he going to get me to talking about my team. No, we just on the week 2. We on one.
Speaking of on the week 2.
We know what we need to do.
What's your assessment of what we saw out of the Denver Broncos? It's early, and all of these takes are early. They can switch next week. But going by, and we're only going by what we saw this week. What's your take on the Broncos and Sean Payton?
I think the same thing I think about the Los Angeles Chargers and Harbaugh. You need to set a tone with a win to get control of your team and get them believing in what you want to do. And Denver, with a rookie quarterback, I'm glad they did have the opportunity for Sean Payton to get that control with Tennessee. A Harbaugh situation beating Kansas City like that definitely showed we really got to believe in this guy.
Yeah. Nick. Remember, Nick's in his second year, not. You say rookie. Nick's is in his second.
Nick's in his second.
Yeah.
Did he start? He did full season last year.
They put him in. Yeah, he's. I forgot how many games he started, but he got a lot of playing time last year.
I kind of put it on repetition, like when you get to 17. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't fully sophomore you till 17. But having said that, like Penix, he's in his second year, but he hasn't really.
He doesn't have 17 games.
Right. So that's what I mean in that repetition sense. But I will say, both coaches, with those wins, solidified and established a constitution with their young squads that they need. Now, I will say this. Down there in Atlanta, Raheem, boy, you better get a grip. You better get a grip because you got a special quarterback down there. That's not Josh Freeman. Freeman. Don't put this man in a position. Don't put yourself in a position, because you're a defensive guy, to have to deal with a new coaching staff and deal with new offensive coordinators early in his career, because you know you got a short leash. You know you do. So you don't want Penix Jr. in that position with these losses. Shout out to Baker Mayfield. Shout out to Egabuka. That's his last name?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. Looking swift with it. You know. But to answer your question, because that was kind of like coaches who, you're here, let's establish something. Both Payton and Harbaugh, I'm going to put him in parenthesis in that they did their job, and I like the fact that they going 1-0 meant a lot to them.
Yeah.
More for Harbaugh because of who he beat than Payton, but you needed that win. And also, can I just say this? Because a lot of people are like, you don't compare Saturday to Sunday. You don't, but for Sean Payton, you know you got to win Denver back, because there's the situation going over there in Boulder. You know, because that's like what San Francisco and Oakland, right there. You know you got to win Denver back. So you know I'm glad that was established for you with that win. But go ahead.
Yeah, that Denver defense is something fierce, man.
Well, you know they got that quarterback.
The Denver defense. I mean, they won in sacks last year, and number one basically across the board. And Sean Payton, you've never thought about his teams having defenses. I mean, with the Saints, they never had great defense. They had some that were opportunistic, but they didn't have a dominant defense like
they definitely had some mercenaries.
Yeah, but but you know they didn't have domination like that. They were opportunistic. But this defense here, if Payton gets that offense humming, hey, the Chiefs, this is you're in a position. We're looking at the Chiefs. I mean, we're looking at what he's doing in Denver. They've got the defense already. we're looking at what Harbaugh is establishing with the Chargers. Before the Chiefs, you knew they were going to win the division. They basically had a cakewalk in the division the same way New England did in the East during their 20 years under Brady and Belichick. They didn't have any real thoughts, they didn't have any real competition for that division to win that division every year. Now you've got three contenders. I'm going to say it now. You got three contenders in the AFC West.
Hold on. I know you're not about to do that, Z. You about to give, hold on. I know you're not about to give week 1 all these props and then act like the Raiders aren't 1-0. I know you know what Kansas City's going to do, and that's what you're assuming, because now you think the Chargers have come along, and now you're looking at Denver and think they have come along. But let's not give Denver all those props off week 1 and then treat Vegas like the stepchild. They are 1-0. Don't do that, Tank.
Your first round draft pick, your running back carried 19 times for 38 yards. One of those runs was 19 yards. So on the next 18 carries, he got 19 yards. They beat New England, which isn't hard. But I'll give them this. They look better. They look better. Yeah, they look better than they have as far as because Geno didn't, he played a good game.
2 for almost 400.
He played a good game. The defense was doing what they needed to. Hopefully for them, Brock Bowers is not his knee injury. His knee is not going to bother him throughout this year because Bowers is a special talent.
But
Brock Bowers is a special talent.
You might be right, but I'm not going to let you just stepchild the 1-0 Raiders like that. Don't do that. Because they're going into week 2 with confidence too.
Think about it. Before this season started, if I told you after week 1 that there was going to be one team in that division that was going to be 0-1, would you have said it was going to be the Kansas City Chiefs?
New haircut. They got a lot to they got a chip on their shoulder. Nah, I wouldn't have said it would be the Chiefs.
Yeah. And again,
it's scary that they are the one that's on.
Yeah. And again, everybody, this is only the first week. This is only the first game. We got 16 games to go. I mean, hell, somebody could wind up going 1-16. So, so we're not gonna hyperbolize people one game. Yeah.
But right now, optimistically, they're 1-0. And I'm not going to let you just do them like that. Because you was about to do them like that.
And the Saints, what are they gonna do at quarterback? I mean, Rattler didn't get it done. And first of all, before we even talk about the Saints and the quarterback situation and the Saints overall as a team, why in the hell were they wearing those Any Given Sunday ugly ass uniforms? Looking like the damn Monarchs.
I mean,
those uniforms are trash.
Sometimes you got to camouflage, the obvious. But Spencer Rattler, hey. First of all, I'm not going. I understand it's football. I understand we got to talk about it, but I'm not about to hyperbolize and go overboard. See, I don't go overboard about the NFL until November anyway. So I'm gonna leave that up to you. But it's week 1. It's to me, it's like I want you to go on a run, but it's week 1. Like I said, this is the 4th preseason game.
Yeah, they look bad, and those uniforms made it look even worse.
So
I was more upset with those ugly uniforms than anything else. I thought something was
They
wrong
got it
with
out
the
of the way
TV.
week one. Maybe they.
I mean, if that I don't want to turn on the TV and see them wearing those things again. That is atrocious, man.
Guess what? If they would have won, though, you know New Orleans is superstitious. So maybe they were testing something out. Now, we got an hour of power. But before we get into that hour of power, there was a question that you wanted to find out as far as Matthew Stafford is concerned. Looking at what, 50,000 yards, 60,000 yards?
60,054 yards.
Yeah, that's what he has now.
Yep.
Does that make Matthew Stafford a Hall of Famer? Most definitely. Most definitely. Okay. Matthew Stafford gonna be in the Hall of Fame.
All right,
He's
now
in the VIP section, but he in the Hall of Fame. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Remember our criteria, and y'all need to go back and look up the criteria that we have for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, go back in our history and look up our criteria. Because are you speaking peers?
I'm speaking peers, and I'm speaking all time.
All right. Here's why. He damn near threw a Hall of Famer into the Hall of Fame in Calvin Johnson. And it's not like Calvin Johnson was one of those Hopkins guys and now Justin Jefferson. I have to make do and make a career out of the quarterbacks that I get. Keyshawn Johnson. I gotta figure this out with whatever you throw me. I don't have consistency. I think in that sense of peer, he threw Calvin Johnson into the Hall of Fame. Then there's something that does exist. There's definitely we just feel sorry for you because you played for Detroit vote. And they toss you in there with that. He has a ring. He has no
all pros.
Hold on.
Okay.
He has no all pros, but he was throwing to the all-time yardage in one season receiver in Cooper Kupp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it yardage and catches?
We had the triple crown, but it was yards.
It was yards that was all time.
Yeah.
So when you start stacking up people he did stuff with, you kind of put him in that. Okay. You kind of put him in that place. And he's definitely going to have who's going to show up. Hold on. Okay. Who's going to show up to his ceremony? Aaron Donald, Calvin Johnson. I ain't gonna make Cooper Kupp a Hall of Famer, but it's gonna be some good NFL talk. Cooper Kupp. Shoot. His homeboy that played baseball. So that's my argument for him. And I can see him. I can see him maneuvering in there. But you go ahead.
I think he's gonna probably get in, but my thing with the Hall of Fame, I've had to have to battle myself regarding because you got to look at where does this guy rank in his era in the time that he played. I tend to look at Hall of Fame for the most part. Are you one of the greatest to ever play the position? And I know that's not what they look at when they're electing guys, and we've seen that from some of these guys who've gotten in over the past decade.
Can a story be written without you? It can.
Yeah. But I think his time with the Rams is what's going to put him in the Hall of Fame because of the ring, because of he's got double digit. He's got 5 winning seasons overall in his career. 2 of those, he's got 6. 2 of those 6 winning seasons were 9 and 7 seasons with the Lions. He's gotten around to the Super Bowl. They've had 2 double-digit 12-plus wins since he's been there. His yardage and his touchdowns have been up, and his interceptions have been down. He's close to being 500 as a quarterback. He still got a losing record overall, but like you said, he's going to get the look. Who has anybody ever won in Denver? I mean, in Detroit, that's what he's going to get. And so I think that he's going to get in. And I think that 60K is really because there's only 10 quarterbacks who've thrown for 60K. And we know that's all different. It's a different era. So guys are slinging it.
He definitely
so much,
got 10 in this era. He probably got 15 he wouldn't have in another era. Absolutely. Yeah. And let's not forget, LA puts him over the top because of the market.
Yeah, the market and the ring.
So he doesn't really fit our criteria.
Yeah,
but
he doesn't make it out of the top 5 all-time Rams. He doesn't sniff that. And all the top 5 all-time Lions,
quarterback?
No, period.
Lions ever.
Yeah. No, I don't think he does. But I do believe that he's going to get in. And I think there's people who just feel sorry for him because he was on a sorry team for so long. And it's like, okay, finally he's here. And you see what he can do when he's got good coaching and talent around him. So and you can make the argument if he'd had that caliber of talent and coaching his entire career, what he could have accomplished.
And he's like, okay, plug and play. You swap Jared Goff for me. Jared Goff made it to the Super Bowl with practically, the Rams, same coach, same team. I won it though,
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff, it's not a bad trade, but Jared hasn't erased, what Stafford has done with a championship. So, that's how that goes. Now, our power as we move along, boxing this weekend. We're not going to get into that until they have it, but we got Canelo and Crawford on Netflix. It's going to be good. It's going to be nice. But before we get into that, and we're not even going to get into it, we're just going to ask you the question. After watching a fight like that, now we're seeing an exhibition fight coming up between Mike Tyson. It's sad that we laugh at these people that we really would run to the TV to watch. But anyway, Mike Tyson is about to sign to fight, or if they haven't signed, or you do a deal to fight
they've agreed.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. And I'm just wondering, would you all watch that fight? Tank?
Floyd is bored. Floyd is bored with retirement, or has he officially retired? Because last couple of fights he's had has been exhibitions.
I think Floyd. I think there is a boxer's rebellion to a degree for both Floyd and Mike. I think it only shows you it's kind of like when Jordan had,
how bad the sport is
right,
now.
right, right. It's kind of like when Jordan had to go play for the Wizards for a little while, and Bron wasn't quite there, and Kobe hadn't quite taken it to that next realm, and we didn't get what we thought we were going to get from Vince. We didn't get what we thought we were going to get from. I think I'm throw T-Mac in there. Shaq was kind of, not the figure. He was a figure, but he was not the marketing figure that we wanted to gravitate towards. So we got to give you this cushion in between of the old guy to get it back going. And so the thing is, no one in boxing has done anything to make Floyd or Mike, not from a boxing standpoint or physical standpoint. I'm gonna put Mike in there too. No one has done anything in boxing to make either of them feel like all we need you to do is step in the ring and do a Muhammad Ali and say hello.
Yeah.
You're still going to get your cheers and props, but we know you ain't coming back fighting, And so by the time Muhammad Ali could or couldn't fight, Larry Holmes was definitely a draw.
Holmes was there, and then you had other guys come.
Yeah, you had lighter weights. Like he was a draw, and we don't need you. We don't need you to go watch Worldwide Sports that night on ABC. We don't need your draw. So there's nobody, and a lot of people may disagree with this because they're in their microwave moment, and they're like, "Well, the club be thinking when we do this." Nah, if you could equivocate, those $30 pay-per-view when Mike was about to fight for 91 seconds, and you could equivocate what Floyd was doing around 06, 08, 06 to 010, 2010, the boys ain't drawing like that.
Yeah, there's nobody because truthfully,
Roy
other than diehards,
Roy Jones Jr. in there. Yeah, you ain't nobody drawing like that.
Yeah, other than because now there is nobody out there, unless you're a diehard boxing fan. Nobody boxing isn't top of the mind. You only. It used to be a time, particularly you, the heavyweight champ, they looked at you and viewed you as the baddest man on the planet. Most people don't even know who's the heavyweight champ, and they don't care.
Right.
They don't care.
Right.
And this fight, this exhibition match is, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, it's a draw. It's a freak show. It's a circus. I'll probably watch it because it depends on if anything else is on, and depending on how much they're charging. Because in both of these guys' primes, you would never seen them. This would have never been something you do. There's a reason why they have weight classes in boxing.
Yeah, and it's
Mike is too. Some floor.
5 rounds of good drinking. 5 rounds of drinking.
Yeah, Mike is still 230, 220. Floyd is what? Probably like 170. And there's a reason. There's a reason why why you would not have these two guys fighting in the real world.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm not just gonna blame boxing. It's a lot of people out here, and I'm not gonna say they can give it up, or they should give it up. You can do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of people out here wearing booty shorts and boots they shouldn't be wearing in their twilight years. Saying things like, I look better than some of these young girls out here. So everybody has that sense of rebellion in them.
Delusion.
It's delusional, you know what I mean? And they too, let's be real, they too are putting on an exhibition. So having said that, because you did say you made an important point. They would have been considered the greatest in the world. That boxer, the baddest man in the world. So I want to segue into this. 2 points. Maya Moore, the great Maya Moore, UConn legend, all through high school.
She's from the ATL, shawty.
The ATL, Hall of Fame now, right?
Yeah.
She did a photo, the iconic photo of about 15 of her rings throughout her career. And she did an iconic photo with Jordan and his rings. And I've always said, female basketball competition from sport to sport is different. And I always argue, me personally, I always argue that there are a plethora of WNBA players that are just more athletic. I'm not saying successful. That's not the word. I'm saying athletic than Serena Williams. Oh, you crazy. She beat all these people. What they got to do with anything? If I took Maya out of basketball and put her on a beach volleyball court, and I took Serena out of tennis and put her on a beach volleyball court,
I think that would be close. I think
might be close. Run a track meet. That's athletic. I can take you out, and that's what I'm saying. I can take you out of your element, and you're still an athlete playing another sport. So, that's just how I feel. Now, what do you think about that? Because there's a segue in that too.
So, as far as Maya being the best, or
I look at it like this.
Or as far as female athlete overall.
Female athletes. I think Maya is a better athlete than Serena. What I believe happened to this is my personal opinion, and y'all can say I'm crazy. Look at it, because the only thing you're gonna argue with me about is look at all them
Grand slams.
Grand slams Serena won. That girl Maya is decorated too. The problem is women's basketball is not as popular.
It's not a draw. Yeah,
it's not a draw. So the popularity is why you're doing what you're doing. And the funny thing about the popularity is that's just Americans, because just in that post we did earlier today, that's why you got to follow us on Facebook. Basketball, football, and women's basketball are your 3 major draws in high school. They're also your 3 major draws in college. I'm gonna add baseball in there a bit, but those are your 3 major draws. Now, you can do a list in Sports Illustrated, and your least draws from high school sports: tennis, golf. It's really wrestling,
lacrosse,
soccer, and tennis, golf, swimming, or diving.
And some of those are gonna draw a little more depending on the demographic in certain areas.
We're talking about a club sport for a club sport, which is pretty much an astute sport. It's not drawing in the top athletes. But the thing about Americans is this: you can have a high school basketball player or a football player ascending in high school, bringing everybody out. And on the night that they have the tennis match, lacrosse, diving, and swimming, no one's coming out. None of the boosters getting those hot dogs.
Except for the parents.
Except for the parents. That kid can ascend to Olympic status and professional status in that sport. And it's a slightly easier run than a quarterback would in high school, because it's hard to be a quarterback in college. It's hard to make it be a quarterback in the NFL. More competition, contact sport. Same with basketball. Same with women's basketball, softball. And their star could peak because of that in college. But the guy who played golf could ascend to be Tiger Woods. The guy that's swimming could ascend to be Michael Phelps. The girl that played tennis could ascend to be Serena Williams or Venus, or any of these great, players. Ice skating too. And Americans, track, you can throw track in there. Americans will say, oh, they're so decorated. Michael Phelps is a better athlete than Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what we do.
Yeah, but as far as the best, probably best athletes, best overall athlete, as far as for women, I think it's the gymnast, and I think my go-to would be Simone Biles, because I don't think there's anything. Of course, she can't slam dunk a basketball.
She's very tiny.
But yeah, but there are things that she has that will make her and make these other gymnasts better athletes. They have power, they have explosion, they have coordination, they have balance. They have explosion. They also have speed. They also have strength. I think they have everything that you need and want an athlete to have in order to see if they can succeed in endurance as well in any other sport. You can take them and apply. They have what?
Femininity.
Yeah. You can take them and apply them in any other sport, and I think they can hold their own. I don't think you could do that with the tennis player, basketball player, golfer. Maybe not maybe track.
I think a male gymnast can make a nice little. He's tiny too, now, but he can make a nice little run at a Division II school at running back.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah. But so I would give it to the gymnast, because they incorporate everything that you need to produce in any other sport. Not saying they would be the best at their sport, but they wouldn't embarrass themselves. Like I don't think you're gonna take a tennis player and she go out there and she's a track star. I don't think you can take a tennis player and she's gonna be
movement. She got some great hand-eye coordination. Somebody in the chat like, oh, let me see you try to hit a 110 mile an hour serve back. That's not my job.
Yeah.
Leave me alone about that. That's not my job.
Yeah. I would give it to the gymnast.
Parallel. Let me see you do. That's what I thought. Dummy.
Yeah, but Maya Moore, where would you rate her? Would you rate her as the best or greatest female basketball player ever?
No. I'm saying at 6'1". I'm saying at 6'1", if she goes out there to the court, because Serena's 5'9". 5'9" is what? 4 inches?
Yeah.
That's advantageous in the tennis court. Still, like, it's not like she's too tall. That's still advantageous in the tennis court. 5'9" on the basketball court, I'm swapping them. There's lateral movement in basketball. There's leaping ability. I think if she learns the game, she has power. So all I'm saying is her stature if I put her out there and she goes down there to Onsley Park, tennis, when she's young, she ascends to be something serious. That's just what I'm saying. I think that now the greatest woman basketball player is still I'm gonna go with Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
With Cheryl Miller.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say it's like
cool.
Because she because when they talk about Cheryl Miller, they said, hey, if she had opportunities to play professional ball and hadn't gotten hurt and all that, they still talk about, hey,
so from a ball standpoint,
athletically,
what I'm saying about Maya and Serena, and I believe, and I'm not taking anything away from Serena, but a lot of people don't know Maya or haven't heard of her because the popularity, like a lot of people will say Usain Bolt is a better athlete than Ronald Curry. He's not.
Yeah, I mean, just faster. That's it.
He's faster and more decorated with the platform. I mean, come on now. That's all.
Shout out to KD for bringing up Ronald Curry. The only man to win North Carolina was a Virginia high school and basketball player of the year, USA Today. Basketball and football player of the year in the same year. Tough to beat.
Did Allen Iverson do it? No. Allen Iverson did it in his state.
Yeah, in the state.
But Ronald was in his state and the country.
And
the country. Let's stop now. So, that's what we saying. All right, we're gonna do some other segments going on because we still got our other segment that we're gonna do. We're not gonna do it tonight. We're gonna close out because that's what we're gonna do. Hour and 30 minutes. That's what
we're gonna do.
Real quick. You know you got to go to work tomorrow. If you're still up, catch the recreated segment of this. But before we go, we want to do what we always do. If you have not been with us, if you have not joined us, if you've never been on a No Jazz, not just another sports show, that is the acronym NOJASS. We have last words. Now, Hank, do you have any last words for tonight?
My last words is for the NCAA and this NIL. You all have got to do something to get the toothpaste back into the tube because this is just outrageous. It's ridiculous. And I'm not against capitalism. I'm not against guys getting compensated for what they're doing because they do help bring in an awful lot of money into these schools. But there's no reason that a quarterback, a player at Duke, should be making $12 million this year. I mean, I just think I just think they need to rein it in. There needs to be a cap on it. And some, oh man, you hating on guys getting paid. No, I'm not. But it's doing exactly what they always said would happen if you paid athletes. Because you got some schools that don't have any money. Some schools have very little. And you're gonna start seeing the same old guys, same old schools every year because they have the money, and like in the state of Texas and some other places who are gonna always be able to recruit the best athletes, the best players. I think there needs to be a cap on it because otherwise you're basically gonna squeeze out all these other team. They aren't going to be able to compete anyway. And if you are Rice and you can't compete and you aren't turning a profit, eventually they're going to go ahead and just shut your program down because they look, you'll never compete. We're going to have to knock you down to division, to the FBS level, FCS level, or we're going to have to shut the program down because you're not bringing in any kind of money. You're not bringing in any kind of money. You're not drawing. Nobody is coming to see. It's not going to be 50,000 people coming to see the Rice Owls play football. So I think that they need to rein in the money that's being thrown out there, put a cap on it, and go from there. It should be an equal playing field if you're going to be paying these players. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, even the NFL put a cap on what they're playing, on what they're able to pay people. Because I think it's ruining the game. And you got all these guys going into the transfer portal. I can't remember his name now. This kid's going to the transfer portal 6 damn times. Get a grip on the transfer portal and get a grip on NIL money because you're ruining the game. I know it goes on in the other sports too, but really nobody cares about those other sports, NIL and transfer portal. You don't hear about the pitcher from LSU going into the transfer portal because he wants to go pitch for UCLA.
Absolutely. Put a cap on it and put the 2 back in the 2. I love it. All right. My last word. I could talk about Mike, but I'm not. I could talk about the Cowboys' second half run defense and how good it was, but I'm not. I could talk about we shut down Saquon Barkley a little bit. You know, we maintained him. We did we contained him, but I'm not going to even bring it up. I could talk about generational talent and how all of these Howard Gotels are making everybody a generational talent before they have the data on them because they just want to be the first one to say that they're doing something and the Fine Bombs or whatever his name is, they love placing things and placing these plaques over these kids' heads before they get a full season out. And we're using terms too loosely. But I'm not going to talk about that either. But what I am going to talk about is University of Miami, UCF, USF, Florida State, and the University of Florida. UCF on the outside looking in right now, but Miami is about to play. They just played. I can't even say their name, but they're a rival of the Florida A&M Rowdies. Oh, but no. When you went to the school, you don't mention them. I knew the name. It's kind of like a crip in the blood using your seat. You know what I'm saying? I know their name. But anyway, shout out to Ed Reed. They just played Bethune. They're about to play USF, who just beat University of Florida. The next week, they're going to play the Gators, who just got put out of the top 15, top 25 by USF. And then 2 weeks later, you're going to meet Florida State. I challenge Alabama, the state of Alabama. I challenge you. I challenge the state of Texas. I challenge the state of Ohio. I challenge the state of California. I challenge the state of Louisiana. Who did I miss? I challenged the state of, I said Alabama? No, I didn't. Oh,
yeah.
Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Ohio, and California. I challenge all of you, y'all so-called football states. Line up line up 4 of your teams in 5 weeks. That's equivalent to that. In your state, line them up and tell me if you have a more difficult path than what the University of Miami. Shout out to USF too, because they're gonna have to meet University of Miami right after meeting the University of Florida. And they're on their ascension. Shout out to the Tampa boys. I love it. So this is my last words. I truly hope, because I don't even like rooting for anything past Ocala. I don't. Especially them noise talking jokers up there in North Florida that just want to be us, our little cousins, our little brothers. In the feds in Gainesville. We know what y'all did in 96. We know. I don't think we don't. But at any rate, shout out to the state of Florida football for the first 2 weeks of the college football season, having 3 teams in the top 15. And the only reason, and then the next week, still had 3 teams in the top 20. And the only reason we didn't have 4 because y'all hate us. But shout out to the state of Florida football for the first 3 weeks of the college football season. I won't necessarily say we're back because, USF, they seem to not be able to play at night sometimes. UM going to do what it do. That team up there in Tallahassee, they going to talk noise all year long till, somebody get hurt and they make excuses. But, they lost 10 games last year. We got to let them do what they do. And that team out there in Gainesville, like I said, y'all ain't nothing but the Federales. And the UCF Knights, I just got some people, Orlando right now. But anyway, I'm giving us props. Florida football. I don't want to hear your mouth, Texas. Y'all got all the money. Ohio State, y'all got all the money. But guess what? Your number 1 guy come from Florida. We just lost him. So shout out to the state of Florida college football. We are looking good. And I hope y'all remember what this is, because this is where we're supposed to be. Come on, Florida Atlantic. Come on, Florida International. Come get up in there too, baby. Come get up in there too. We are not losing any more players to Louisville like Lamar Jackson anymore. Let's not let them out of the state. Shout out to the state of Florida. That's right. That's right. We look like a gun and I'm sending shots. And those are my last words. This has been No Jazz, not just another sports show. NOJASSSHOW. I've been your host, KD. Tank has joined us as usual, coming in. It's been a great show. We want to make sure you follow, like, subscribe, comment, share at X, No Jazz Show. At Instagram, THE, No Jazz Show. Facebook, join us on our page at No Jazz Show. We have TikTok and all of our followers on TikTok. I love y'all at No Jazz Show. And email us at NOJASSHOW@gmail.com. And on that note, we're going to sign out. It's been wonderful. Peace. Enjoy week 2 and week 3.
Let's go Steelers.
Boom.